And they got to this tiny little town of just a bunch of huts, palm-thatched huts, called Copan. You know, population of 20, 30 people. And they got there and they asked around and they said, you know, we've heard that there are ruins here, that there are stones in the forest. Does anyone know about this? And they were able to get a guide. And the guide took them to across Copan Valley, a beautiful valley, which was had some agriculture. They grew tobacco there and had cattle farms. And across the Copan River, deep into the jungle. And when they got to the river, they looked up and they saw this wall, this immense, smooth stone wall created out of stones. It was 100 feet high, hundreds of feet long, and that was the first inkling that something here was very strange, because they couldn't believe that the Indians who they encountered on their journey and the very rudimentary people and villages could have built a wall like that. I mean, that was impossible. They had been to Egypt, they'd been to Greece, they'd been to Rome, they understood what ancient ruins looked like, and they couldn't believe this wall. So they crossed the river, they went up some stairs, falling down stairs, along the wall, up to the top to a plaza, and Jose, their guide, with a machete, chopped his way through the dense underbrush of the jungle. And it was very dark because the canopy of the jungle made it very dim, hard to see. They went up in various dead ends. And then Jose took them to a place where there was this monument. And when they saw this monument, they were dumbstruck. They could not believe what they saw. It was to them everything more than they ever hoped or expected to find. Mm-hmm. It was a single monument, about 12 to 14 feet high. It was immense. It was a man in a costume, a very elaborate costume with a headdress that was almost beyond belief, almost phantasmagoric in its sculpture. And they walked around, you know, and they saw that it was covered with hieroglyphics on all three sides. Mm-hmm. And the king had this fearsome look on his face, and they were convinced that this was something that was the equal of what they had seen in Egypt along the Nile. And how could this be? How could this be in this jungle heart of America, covered by jungle? You know, it was an entire mystery to them. It was inconceivable to them. And Jose continued to carve paths through the jungle, and before the end of the day, they found a total of 12 of these monuments. They climbed stairways and into palaces that were overgrown. They went up pyramids to temples. And by the end of the day, they sat down in an amphitheater and they said, you know, this is inconceivable. What could this be? Yeah. And if this is what they found and what they imagined to be some kind of very sophisticated city, ancient city, there must be more than just this. It couldn't just be an isolated phenomena. Mm-hmm. And so from that moment on, they were driven forward in their explorations, because with the belief that this had to be something that was larger than just this one spot.